Hello everybody. It's been a while since I'm on air. The reason that I'm not on air that much is because I'm still waiting, for a lot of things to happen. And right now, actually, I'm still writing my main book in English, which the original one, which is in Thai, was published about 3 years ago. And it has over 300 pages, full of color, as you can see. And right now I'm writing the English version, which should be an ebook version. And I should be able to finish that in around August, maybe September, August, around there. Just in time, hopefully in time for the US presidential election during 2024. That will be, the major things. I think God will want me to, finish the book during that time. I think it's very important. I believe it is very important because it's about Trump, right? The new book, which will have the theme Parousia, and the title will be The Final Countdown. The reason that I gave the book the name The Final Countdown is because I was going to put this book into two parts. The first part is The Final Countdown, which is about mainly Trump in the sense, and the rest will be about the coming of the Messiah, Christ, later on. So I will probably make the book into two parts as compared to the Thai version. Well, the Thai version is actually in a two-part sense because I didn't disclose everything. That's still like hidden secret, partial secret in there, to be disclosed further on down the timeline. So I'm actually pretty excited. You can say that I'm excited, and I'm also a little busy, because I need to finish up the book. And my concern when I was writing the English version was that, I don't like to write a lot of stuff about, like history, or try to explain too much, because I'm not really into history, I'm not really into politics, right? I believe that other people are more well versed than I am. So I try not to get into details for all that. And then I especially don't like to rewrite somebody else, content. And then it's like I'm not that good in English, and this is like the author, he writes certain things about the stuff, right? So I have to rewrite it in my own words, and that sounds horrible. So I was waiting for the Lord to send me somebody who can really help me and rewrite it. I've hired a ghostwriter before, and he's good, but then he's not, like really, really good. Those that you have to pay millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars, So he's good at his price. So that wasn't really enough, the essay, the things that I wrote is still like, it's still normal. It doesn't have that impact, I want that impact, when you tell a story, you want that impact, right? So finally, lo and behold, right? So finally God, like, when we during this Chinese New Year, So what happened is I was telling my relatives, I was hiring a ghostwriter to help me write the book in English. And what happened is that he suggested, hey, why don't you use AI, ChatGPT? And I was like, well, yeah, I forgot all about it, right? I forgot all about that. And I said, why not, So I came back, and then it's like God is like leading me there, because my brother, my youngest brother in the States, right, Will, he said, I am like applying for this ChatGPT, and you guys can use it for free. Who wants to use it? I was like, yeah, I want to use it. So, there's like this two person who suggested me to, in a way, to use ChatGPT, right? So what happens is that when I, write my whole story is in English, Actually, my English is better than my Thai, used to be anyway. But, anyway, so I wrote the thing, and then I copy-paste it into the ChatGPT, right? And lo and behold, it was amazing, It rephrased my content. It changed. I mean, it was like some very professional people writing, my essay for me, and I think it's going to turn out amazing. So I have both the ChatGPT program, and then I have the ghostwriter to help me rewrite it. So hopefully we'll get it out, by the end of probably August and September. Okay, so that will be the game changer. Do I think that it will be a hit? Do I think it will be a hit during this time around? Not actually so much, because the reason is that I think a lot of people already believe that Trump is coming back. Is coming back. This time around he'll be elected. Okay, I think a lot of people believe that, and the polls and everything is already suggesting that Trump is going to be back, right? So what's the point of me, just another person out of hundreds of thousands and even millions of people believing that Trump is coming back, right? So it'll be nothing dramatic. So I don't think that this book will make an impact this time around. Okay, compared to what it used to be, like the time that Trump got elected the first time, he's the black horse. Nobody really believes that he will win, right? So, and he won. And if I predicted, which I did, I posted my findings a few months before the election, I think 2016 at that time. So I posted my finding that Trump will be elected that time, okay, about a few months. And true enough, he got elected, but it wasn't a printed book. It's just a post on Facebook and in YouTube, okay? And, that's, I think God didn't meant it to be at that time. So anyway, but somebody else also predicted Trump getting back get elected that time. That is Kim Kleiman. He's actually a very precise, good prophet, and he predicted that Trump was got to be elected that time about many years. I think 9 years before I did. Okay, he predicted 9 years before I did. I mean, this dude, okay, this pastor, he predicted like 9/11, the World Trade Center thing. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty accurate. Unfortunately, he died a few years ago. Anyway, so I don't think that my book will make an impact, a lot of impact this time around. But I will make this book, okay, will make an impact in a way You know, this time maybe a little bit, just a little bit, you know, getting like, you know, somebody who is interested in drums, you know, looking at it and see what will happen in the future, since I got it right and I wrote it before, right? So anyway, I think the book will make the, you know, the first big impact. That's the time when Trump, okay, after getting elected this time around, and he will go, you know, he has 4 years, right, as a president of the United States. This is probably his last term, because he got his first term. This is going to be his second term. So 4 years. He has only 4 years to do his job. So what is his job? Okay, his job is to go, you know, to Jerusalem, like the book of Revelation 11, 1 and 2. He will measure, you know, the temple court in Jerusalem, just like John in the book of Revelation chapter 11 and 1 and 2. That is his job, okay? I think, okay, I'm probably the only guy who say that Trump, as John, you know, will fulfill this verse of the Bible, okay? Very specifically, Trump as John. His middle name is even John, you know, Donald John Trump. So he will fulfill this verse, you know, Revelation 11, chapter 11, 1, 2, the verse 1 and 2, before the two witnesses in the, you know, in the third sentence, third verse. Anyway, yeah, so that will make an impact, because everybody will grab this book, right? And then maybe heard about this book, and they share it, and they say, hey, this guy wrote about Trump, you know, fulfilling the 11, you know, book of Revelation 11, 1 and 2. And he said that there will be like, you know, some sort of a terrorist war, you know, Third World War, all across the globe, where the Arab nation, you know, perhaps even the Arab League, you know, get together behind the Mahdi, you know, the Islamic savior, and, you know, they wage war, you know, just like in the book of Revelation chapter 13, you know, they wage war, they get victorious for 42 months, you know, and then there's like perhaps a third intifada, you know, around Jerusalem, around the Temple Mount at that time. And people were saying, hey, this guy wrote about it, you know, and he's so precise and he get it correct, right? So by the times it could be, you know, by the time that the war started, or maybe, you know, the protests, you know, ended, like exactly 42 months, and people would start talking about this book and say, hey, this guy is really, really precise, you know, let's see his timeline, let's see what he writes in this book. So I guess that will be the introduction for the two witnesses who is coming right after, you know, the 42 months, which is the 1,260 days. Yep. So that will be, I believe that is the, you know, this is what I believe God is telling me, that is the timeline, that is the process of this is going accordingly. Okay. So yeah. So I think the book will actually make a big impact further down the line when Trump's, you know, get into the president, get into the White House, and, you know, cause uproar, protests, and Third World War, according to Revelation 11, 1 and 2, right? Yeah, that's how this book will be introduced to the world. So if you are interested, you can purchase the book. It's about 300 bahts. This is not how I make money. I have my own big businesses. I'm selling one of the top brands in herbal medicine. So making money out of the book is not my intention at all. All the money going into the book will be going into publication, you know, advertising and publication for, you know, my next book. And the English one, you will have to wait. Okay, it will be, I think it will be in ebook, unless, you know, my funds, you know, comes more, and I might want to like print it maybe even in colors, in the States. But anyway, the first one will not be in color. It will be in just English and probably Igbo. Okay? So this will make a great impact according to that timeline. And one of the things that people will like, I think will be like one of the very significant point of this book. Well, there's many points, okay, according to the end time. But one of the points that I want to point out at this point in time is about Israel in 1948. Okay, the thing is that a lot of people believe, okay, that 1948, the birth of Israel in 1948 is a very significant end time type of event. Okay, but the thing is that if you ask a Christian pastor or theologian, they would not be able to specify any New Testament, okay, any New Testament that has direct evidence that Jesus as the Messiah helps to create the state of Israel in 1948. They just can't. There's no evidence in the New Testament saying that Jesus Christ is the Messiah who caused 1948. And that is something so important, because the role of the Messiah, okay, even the Jews believe the role of the Messiah, they have to gather the Jews all across the world back to the promised land. That is one of the main roles of the Messiah. And that is actually the main Old Covenant. Yeah, all the Old Testament main theme is Israel being punished, and then God will bring them back, and the person who will bring them back is the Messiah. So, for Christians, you don't have that answer. You don't have an answer why Jesus is not being prophesied, or you don't have the evidence that Jesus, okay, fulfilled this major covenant in the New Testament, especially in the New Testament. Why? Okay, that's one point. The second point is that for the Jewish rabbi, okay, here it is, the rebirth state of Israel in 1948. Grand big event. God brings them back to the promised land. So the question is, where's the Messiah? Where is their Messiah? Okay, if they don't believe in Jesus, okay, as their Messiah, so where is the Messiah? 1948 is about 80 years ago. Okay, the state of Israel being born. That's no sign of their Messiah, right? So it's like a conundrum, for Christians. There's no sign of Jesus having any related, responsibility or related things concerning the 1948, the birth of Israel. And the Jewish rabbi, don't have the Messiah when the state of Israel was born in 1948. So both sides do not have this evidence. And it's like crazy, right? This is a major covenant. It's not just like tiny little details or tiny little covenant. This is the major old covenant, and this is a major, what we call messianic road. But where's Jesus and where's the Jewish Messiah? Right? Here it is. The answer is this. The answer is in this book. Why? Because it connects. Okay, it connects 1948, the birth of Israel, with the book of Revelation. Okay, with the book of Revelation. And the book of Revelation just doesn't have one specific event in the end time. No. The book of Revelation is a chronicle timeline. It is a timeline filled with end-time events. One by one, all line up according to time. Okay? So it's not just like some individual prophecy pop up here and there. No. But it is like a whole timeline. What happens historically, okay, real life historical events and major events, major apocalyptic events in history line up with the book of Revelation. And it has very specific and precise details. The name of the place, the description of the events, right? So if you are like a fortune teller, so you have to give this general, people like to quote the Bible, generalize. It's like, oh, there will be a lot of war, there will be a lot of famine, there will be a lot of, tribulation, blah, 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 blah. Every age, people feel that they are in this, end-time tribulation. Right? It could be any age. It could be 1,000 years ago. It can be 500 years ago. It can be 2,000 years ago. Remember? The disciples was like, oh, this is the end time. This is like, they call the end times when the Spirit of God poured down there. So they believe that this end times 2,000 years ago. So what is the difference? The difference is the name. The naming. So once you name something, you name an event and you have very details of the event, the chances of you being wrong is very slim. And that's just for one specific event. That's just one. What happens if you have a chain of events? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it all lines up with, interwoven with names, specific names of people, names of the country, okay, name of the place, right? So, you can't get it wrong. There's no something else. There's no history, okay? Somebody posted on my Facebook a while ago, and it was like, oh yeah, the pattern keeps on going, from past to present and to the future. Right, that's correct. But then there will be a point where, like I said, there couldn't be the past anymore, in other sense than what happens actually, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay? So I connected, the book of Revelation with real life events. That's World War II. Okay? And I discovered that like 30 years ago. I posted on Facebook about 10 years ago. The first one on YouTube, not Facebook, sorry, on YouTube 10 years ago. And I, posted all the times about this, right? About, Second World War is all the seals, all the seals, the 1 to the 6 seals is the World War II. Okay, the 5th seal is actually Holocaust. The name of that thing, the soul of people that is being, sacrificed to God under the altar. So when you sacrifice something on the altar completely, it's called Holocaust. Holocaust. You burn something on the altar, okay, completely. That is called Holocaust. So if you have that spirit of people burning on the altar and laying under the altar, God is trying to give you clues to the 5th seal. It's the event. The name of the event is the Holocaust. One of the biggest events in Jewish history where they almost got genocide. And because of this event, one of the main factors for the rebirth of Israel in 1948 is because of this Holocaust. Without this Holocaust, the probability of, the state of Israel being born in 1948 is unimaginable, right? So here it is, the name. And what about the sixth trumpet, sixth seal? According to my book, okay, past Oros and past Nasos. past means every, right? So they translated in the Bible in English, it's like every. Even in Thai language, it's every, right? Every hill, every mountains, every island got scattered, right? Yeah. So, but actually, does it really mean just that? No, past actually can mean as a whole, one single, right? So, do you know that in Chinese and in Japanese, the etymology behind Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Hiroshima, Shima means island, okay? Hiro means the width of, the whole width of. You can say that the whole width of the island, the whole width of island, past nasals. The meaning is similar, okay? It's almost an exact match. And what about Nagasaki? Saki in Chinese etymology, also in Japanese kanji, right? So you have this mountain, you can search on it, it's a mountain that protrudes out of the water, out of the sea. So you have the mountain, right? In Chinese, you have the mountain there too, Sanqi. Okay? So here it is. And Naga means long, or the whole length of. Okay, so you have this, what is the whole width of, and one is the whole length of. One is the whole width of, Shima island, the whole width of the island, and you have one, the whole length of the mountain. So it's just one mountain. It's actually, God is implying, God is giving us clue as to the name of the things that happens in the book of Revelation. So this two things is just one of the points that I make, connecting World War II with the seals. And the book of Revelation chapter 7 is actually the sealing of the 12th tribe of Israel. That is the rebirth state of Israel, okay, in 1948. Right, 3 years right after World War II. So if you make that connection with other fine details, I'm not going to go into all the details, but you get my drift, right? The whole event, if it's according to what I say, then we have solid proof, biblical prophecy that is fulfilled, that tells us specifically that Jesus is a true Messiah for us and for the Jews. Imagine when Christians use this Bible in the New Testament, with cross-reference to the Old Testament too. The book of Daniel tell about this, the same thing, about the seals, about World War II, the same timeline. You have these two, Old Testament and the New Testament, which confirm each other. And you have the New Testament confirm that Jesus is the one who caused World War II. Therefore, he is responsible in creating the state of Israel in 1948. Boom! There you have it. Biblical evidence. And then, do you know when this evidence came out, will come up later on, what will happen to the Jews? A lot of heart will change. Okay, God will change their heart, and they will finally recognize Jesus as the true Messiah. That's part of my new book. Isn't it? It's exciting. Isn't it exciting? So if you have any other sources that tells about the same thing, that the seals, happens in the book of the seals in the book of Revelation is actually World War II creating the states of Israel in 1948. If you heard about that on YouTube or in some other book, just put it on, this page, comment and let me know, okay? But I don't believe that is. That could be, but as far as I'm concerned, for 30 years, I have never heard that. But about 4 or 5 years ago, I saw someone who posted the same thing about saying about the horsemen of the apocalypse or the seals as a World War II. Okay, just about 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah, you probably could, but maybe they didn't connect. Okay, they didn't connect as detailed as I am. Okay, but anyway, if you found out something, just let me know, and we will see what happens next. But it's all very exciting. Hey, keep in touch. God bless. Amen. In Jesus' name.